Okay, well, coming at you live for all the things that I said. Meh meh.
Nobody heard. I heard it. I heard it.
You heard it.
I heard it.
That's important, guys. All right,
That's
well
it.
then, coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is All Dodgers Podcast, This is All Dodgers Live, part of the Believe Network podcast. We are back in what feels like has been forever, and opening day is here. So we're gonna talk about it. This is kind of a preview show, I guess we can sort of say. But appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I don't know why there was no audio because there's nothing I pushed as that said there shouldn't be audio. But Kevin's here, and that's always a good sign. Been a minute. What's going on? How you doing?
Good. Glad to be back. Glad we'll get a glimpse of regular season baseball tomorrow. Finally, a game
Tonight,
worth watching.
morning.
Oh,
Weird.
no, it's tomorrow. It's the 5 a.m. for me, so that's still tomorrow.
See, yeah, you and your weird Central Time or whatever the hell you are. I don't know. I feel like if you're still awake, and this is, I guess, a question we could have. If you're still awake, it's the same day. Are you? I guess you get to go to sleep more so than and you get to just have to wake up early. This is where, that's what Mario. I was seeing Mario asking in the chat, are we doing an all-nighter? I'm not doing an all-nighter. I can tell you that much. I'm going to have to do this show, have some sort of very, very quick dinner, hope that people leave me the fuck alone for the love of God so I can sleep for a couple of hours, because I also apparently have to do a post-game on Dodgers territory. Me and Alana will be alive. So,
Yeah, you do.
We out here, baby. We out here. The Dodgers are here. We got to talk about that and a whole lot more. I don't know, man. Let's kind of talk. I see in the chat a number of things. One guy's telling us hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We did, before opening day, hit and surpass the 15,000 subscriber mark. That is awesome. We appreciate the hell out of you people. We love you people. You guys are awesome. Let's get to 20,000.
I think that's double the number of subscribers since you brought me back on.
Right?
We were hovering at like 7 when
Did I make it that far? I don't even know where we're at. But the important thing is 15. And we keep grinding. We keep growing. We are back. We are here, and we're having a good time.
Number go up, Kevin happy.
Richie Flores agrees with me. If he didn't go to bed, if you're still awake and didn't go to bed, is it still Monday night? Yeah, out in Arizona, I felt like there was a couple of nights that were still, like a Thursday night instead of Saturday or whatever. Just long times. Let's stop bullshitting around here. I'm going to get this one out of the way. I want to tell you guys about Bet Online. It's the world's most, and hopefully you guys can hear me for this, but it's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness, because it is March. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion, and now you get to use it. You get to use Bet Online to talk about baseball. I love talking about baseball. Baseball is something you guys should love talking about too, because they have the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to a $200,000 bracket contest with the March Madness going on, coming up, all that kind of stuff. But also baseball fun, baseball good. BetOnline should be continuing to be your number one sports betting source here as the season goes on and goes forward. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, let's get into some Dodgers talk, man. Opening day again is here. We're still waiting on the official roster because you and I were talking about it. They have some questions to sort of figure out in the pitching side. I'm very curious on how pitching sort of shakes out, because they have a bunch of, I think there's 10, 11 dudes that are on the active roster that are going to be hitting the injured list. I don't know that they have enough bodies to sort of figure out how to field 13 pitchers while in Tokyo, if they don't need to have Dustin May, if they don't need to have Blake Snell, if they don't need to have somebody like the other guy, Tyler Glasnow. They don't need to be on the active roster for these two games, but I guess we'll eventually figure that out in the next couple of hours or whatever it is. But before we dive into that, let's talk about spring training. It's done until it comes back, and they play the Angels at Dodger Stadium at Angel Stadium for something a waste of time or whatever. But what do you feel about the exhibition games in Japan.
It was cool. It's great to see the sport alive and well across the Pacific Ocean. It was, you know, you trying to consume every bit of media you can from Japan. It just everything about it has been really awesome to see from the Dodger side, from the Cubs side, even. You know, I think today there was that clip with JT and Doc. They're doing some, welcoming ceremonies, stuff like that. The dinner that Shohei put on for everybody. Freddie
Yeah, that's
trying
cool.
sea urchin, all that stuff that's been fun. I haven't watched like a single pitch of the game.
Same.
I really only cared about the stuff surrounding it. I'll start watching tomorrow, but I'm done with spring training and the
You're done
games.
with
I'm
it.
done with
Yeah.
all of it. Let's just get to the game. Let's get to real baseball. But the pomp and circumstance surrounding this series has been really awesome.
Yeah, I love everything we're seeing, everything we're reading about it. I, like you, did not care to wake up in the middle of the night or stay up and watch
Yeah,
these games.
yeah.
I was busy and away to watch the 8 p.m. game, my time, the second exhibition game where, Diane said it in the chat earlier today on Dodgers territory. It's like, good thing you didn't watch. It was kind of a snooze fest. Dodgers, I think, they lost that game, but
Three nothing. 3-0.
again,
Yeah.
spring training. It's over. It's boring. It's done. Two real games happen. Like I said, three more fake games, and then we're all the way back. Are people hyped? That's what I want to know. People, be hyped about this. And I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to this morning. I'm calling it this morning, and that's seeing Yoshinobu Yamamoto in year 2. I really want to see what sort of changes he's making. In a game that matters. The numbers weren't the sexiest during spring training, where he's probably working on specific things, but to actually have meaningful baseball going up against, former teammate Shota Imanaga, WBC champion teammate Imanaga, having Yama try to get this season started on the right foot, that's exciting. I think that's really, really fun. And I've said it a number of weeks back. He's kind of my it's a reach, but I'm going with him as my Cy Young Award pick for this year, and that's me being a homer.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's a guy by the name of Paul Skeens out in Pittsburgh who's he's pretty good at tossing the old white ball. So,
as they say,
as they say,
say.
We got a 199 super chat from Stockton Slap 209. Is it embarrassing? You lost 3-0. Doesn't count, but question mark. I don't care. I just don't care at all. And to be honest, I don't even really care about the outcome of these two games.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the Seoul series like whatsoever. Like, yes, they count on the record, they count in the win and loss column, but I don't give a damn if they win both, lose both, split. I don't care. Just get out of there healthy is really all that matters to me. What I'm excited for personally is the atmosphere. That atmosphere is going to be electric. If anybody was lucky enough to tune into any of the WBC games in Japan, that atmosphere, that stadium rocks. The crowd is awesome. You get the I don't know what they're called. They're not cheerleaders, but they're team dancers on the dugouts, and they're they're getting the fans into it. It is so much fun, and you would probably guess it's going to be predominantly Dodgers fans, but if Shohei, if anybody does anything, that place is going to be loud.
Yeah,
it's going to be packed. I think somebody who's in Tokyo just said that the cheapest seat is $3,000 right now. People are excited to be there, and they're gonna be loud, and it's gonna, people have talked that when Shohei's up to bat or when the Dodgers are up to bat, it's you can hear a pin drop. So to go from that to, if they hit a home run, a meaningful one, to just nothing but deafening noise, it's gonna be so cool for that. And again, though, I don't care about the outcome of the games. Just please, please, please get back to Los Angeles healthy. That's all I care about.
Healthy enough. We do have some Mookie Betts news to talk about in a little bit. I mentioned Yoshi. You mentioned the atmosphere. You mentioned, as Dave Roberts talked about, everybody kind of being quiet and really just soaking up everything about a Shohei Ohtani at bat. same like, Yoshi and Imanaga, teammates on WBC. Shohei Ohtani was on those teams as well, on that most recent championship team. And that's how we get to open the season. Of course, our favorite man in the God damn you piece of shit, in the booth there or whatever on the internet, Mr. Jeff Passan, tweeting this, as I have the wrong screen up, but tweeting this a couple of days ago, or at least not having both of us on the screen. Not a couple days, a couple of hours ago. Listen, I'm just fucking talking right now. I haven't done this in a while. I'm tired. But we're grinding it out here. Listen, I've got grit. I'm showing grit right now. The fact that I can talk is impressive. But this is cool. Shota Imanaga will face Shohei Ohtani. That is the first pitch of the season. That's going to be fun. That's just good for baseball all around. It's good for the Dodgers, and either way, it's you hope Shohei can run into one. But I'm excited to see that meaningful baseball, even if it's for the 2 games. Meaningful baseball. It's fun stuff, man. It is really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, I was there when I got to watch Shota pitch against Shohei out here in Chicago. And that was awesome. Just the camaraderie they have, the respect they have for each other. It's really cool, and you can feel it in the stands. Everybody's watching because it's countrymen, they're friends. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's what makes the WBC so much fun, is you get to see these guys play against each other, with each other. So we're just kind of getting a taste of that again. It's really awesome to start the season this way. And it sucks even more that we then have to take like a week-long break to get back to real baseball.
That sucks. I mean, it is what it is. What's funny is I brought this up when I was out at spring training. I forget who I was talking to, but I had mentioned, isn't it nice that we don't need to do this again? It was one of the Dodgers coaches, and I had mentioned, like, isn't it nice, like, next year will be kind of a more normal spring training? And I was reminded, no, the WBC is back, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Really?
It's 4 years. It's going to be 4 years in a row where the Dodgers players will not get a normal spring training. What will be interesting though is what happens with Roki and Yoshinobu, what they look like pitching for Japan, because for anybody who doesn't know, the club kind of gets final say on whether or not the player they'll like basically lend the player to the country. Like I think Kershaw, if everyone remembers, Kershaw didn't pitch for Team USA because the Dodgers wanted certain assurances and insurance on him that he wasn't able to acquire.
Well, yeah. Wasn't it that he couldn't be insured essentially because he's so broken and so old in that foot? And by the way, I didn't see it, but we were shown the surgery, and reports are, like Austin Barnes told us on Dodgers territory, quite disgusting of whatever the hell they had to do to that toe of his. Something that isn't normal apparently for baseball, and he's still feeling some numbness in that big toe. Did see him get off the mound. I posted the short. It wouldn't let me post obviously a full thing here on YouTube, but because I decided to record this way because I thought it would look cooler and whatever. But you can't post 7 minutes of short, or else it's not a short. It's kind of a long. But Kershaw looked good. I was standing right there next to it, and that shit was pretty loud. Shout out to the rookie catcher, who I think was Luis Garcia or something like that. Whoever he was, but shit was loud. I see we got a $5.99, $4.99 super chat from our friend Richie Flores. Says it's great to see Japanese fans excited to see our boys play, but did MLB force Mookie to go? He was sick before. Dodgers not being honest with Mookie. Let's shift into some Mookie bets
before we do. Stockton Slap with another $4.99 super chat.
Oh, let's go.
Will MLB ever allow seating in front of nets if you wear a helmet like they do in Japan? I love that option. The net really sucks. USA is so soft. I don't think they'll ever allow that because all it takes is one person to get hurt. And that it's just such a bad look for MLB.
Say, how about this? How about before we get into the Mookie talk and segue off of Richie's super chat there? What are your expectations for this series? It's 2 games. We know we got some fun and meaningful games and then meaningless games and all of that. But what are the expectations outside of the hope of just staying healthy?
If you are we predicting win losses or what do we? What do
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I guess
I actually
fun
don't think. I
rocket
think it'll be
launch,
fun.
rocket launch happening. Like, what
I think it'll
happens?
be fun. It's in a dome, so the ball's gonna fly.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, that's gonna be loud in there.
it's gonna be
Oof.
loud. I mean, we already heard the one home run Shohei hit was loud. So it'll be fun. The ball's going to fly. I am not super confident in the Dodgers offense right now. That's not because of what they've recently done. It's just we've seen this team without Mookie Betts, and it's
That's
not
fair.
exactly the same.
That's fair.
So I expect, unless the pitching really steps up, I don't expect them to really win one of these games. So I'm going in with like an 0-2, 1-1 at best. Because you're missing Mookie Betts against
I
Justin,
mean, it's
they're also throwing
Shota.
two
Yeah.
lefties, Shota and then Justin Steele. So
I mean,
throwing
it's
two lefties.
just Mookie, so whatever.
Justin
take a
and the
defeatist.
MVP candidate. Yeah,
We'll
just
take
an
the
MVP
defeatist.
candidate.
Listen, what is it? Expect the worst, and you'll never
Hope
be
for the best.
disappointed. Something like that. I think the Dodgers win a game. I think the Dodgers pull off at least one game. I think I could see them winning tonight, and then Sasaki going a little wonky, going a little
Does a
sideways,
little
maybe.
Yamamoto.
A little Yama debut. But if you could leave Tokyo with the split, I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. But
Go to, just don't get hurt, please.
just don't get hurt. Just keep our pets' heads on. That's an important thing for us. But yeah, Mookie, we got to talk Mookie because he is down with the sickness. We've heard flu-like symptoms. We've heard stomach virus or have seen stomach virus. Again, I said it earlier. We talked about it earlier today on Dodgers territory. We did not see him. There was no visual sighting of Mookie Betts while I was at Camelback last week, Monday, Tuesday. I expected him to play in those final two games. I think the team wanted him to play in those final two games. Maybe they're saying now that, he got sick just before. No, he's been sick for longer, and then down 15 pounds is what they're saying. He was experiencing some fatigue when he was playing, getting through his pregame, not pregame, but I guess just, Japan coming over, workout day at the Tokyo Dome there. And you could see, like, my boy D-Mac posted on his social media some video of Mookie at shortstop, and you can see him kind of dragging. Mookie kind of like makes a play and then like, well, yeah, and he is, as Alana said earlier, he's already a pretty smaller dude, so to be down 15 pounds, that's a lot, man. That is a lot. We've also seen the report. He could be sent home early, which I don't think they do. Another question I also have, if we're talking about the roster stuff earlier, is Mookie going to be on the roster technically? I don't know how that would work. I mean, I think otherwise they would need to put him on the 10-day IL, so he'll probably be on the roster, but just not available. But the right call. It feels like the right call to me for him to be held out for this game, for the next game, for a couple of games in back in LA against the Angels and all that kind of stuff. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think holding him out's best. This is a weird situation for me, or at least from my perspective. Everybody take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt because I'm not a doctor, but like at all. Yeah, I know. But
you can play one on TV right now.
True, I could. The fact that he flew on the team flight, at least by all accounts, they didn't say he took a separate flight or he took different transportation to get there, means that it wasn't like a transmissible virus. They weren't too worried about it being, it's not airborne or something. And if he's tired and down a lot of weight, that screams like mono, because that's not something you can transmit through the air. If you lose a lot of weight and you're very fatigued, those are kind of like the hallmarks of that. And if that's the case, or if something similar to that, he could be out like a significant amount of time, like weeks. Again, grain of salt. It's just bottom line is it doesn't sound like this is stomach flu symptoms. If you have a stomach flu, you don't really want that person near anybody that's healthy because they're probably going to catch it too. but he
Yeah,
flew on like an inner tube for 13 hours with the rest of the healthy people. So it doesn't seem like they were all too worried about it. I don't know. I don't know if they're being 100% honest. It's a stomach virus. I had it. Says Matty Man 5 Dodge. Sure, maybe every stomach virus I've had though, I stay very, very far away. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like stomach virus. I'm not saying it's necessarily mono. It just sounds more towards that side than it does stomach virus to me.
yeah. Whatever it is, I mean, I think they thought he can get over it, and it's definitely not something transmissible. Maybe you're on the right point. Max Effort here in the chat agrees with you. It sounds like mono. I know very little about mono outside of monorail, thanks to The Simpsons, because means one, and rail means rail. Cole, love the comment from Cole. I lose 15 pounds. No one notices. Mookie loses 15 pounds. Someone's screaming, give that boy a sandwich. But yeah, I do have that worry. Like if by the time the rosters drop, and again, I really was hoping the rosters would be
drop
on
for like 3.5 hours. They won't drop it till they absolutely have to.
But I
That's how
wanted
this
it.
team works.
Do
I
it
know.
for me. Do it for your boy.
I was shocked last year during the World Series. They dropped the roster before the Yankees. I thought that was. I was like, whoa. I figured they'd wait.
But they have some interesting interesting things to sort of interesting challenges just for this 2-game series, because if they do, like I was saying earlier, if they do have to hold Mookie off, or they decide to hold Mookie off the roster, it'll be James Outman or somebody on there, and then is Mookie, would they have to put him on the IL, or do they just not have him active? Like, however that sort of works out.
The rules for this series are really wonky. I forget the pitcher last year, but I don't think it was Tony Gonsolin. I can't remember who it was, but it might have been Michael Grove, who we thought he was out of options. Then they optioned him, and we were really confused. And then it was revealed that like options don't count in Korea. I guess they're just as a currency they don't accept. So it could be a situation like that. The nuances here are going to be really weird. I'm sure we're going to see a couple of things and be like, what? And then somebody will clarify it later. Like, oh, the 10-day IL doesn't really exist here. We're just put 26 healthy bodies on the roster. Because it's kind of so.
Gotti confirming, right. It was Grove in that situation. And this is what we were talking about. Like, listen, we know a good amount of this baseball stuff that we talk about on here when we're trying to figure out how the opening day roster works in this scenario on the pitching side. The Dodgers are in a very interesting situation. I don't know how it works for them to get 13 pitchers on this roster, knowing all of the pitching injuries. Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, Grove, Henriquez, they're all out. Kyle Hurd out. River Ryan, of course, already on the 60-day IL. Let me pull it up here just so I have all the names in front of me. Gratterall being out. Tony Gonsolin opening the season on the IL. That kind of stuff. We were talking about, Jack Dreyer's with the team traveling to Japan. We know the Matt Sauer is with the team, but he's Sauer Sawyer, but he's not Sauer on the active roster, or on the 40-man roster, I should say. Nick Frasso is with the team, but he was optioned weeks ago. And the other thing is, like, if Tyler Glasnow is not active for this game because he doesn't need to be, he's not going to pitch in this series. Same with Blake Snell. They don't have bodies to fill those spots unless they make some 40-man roster moves. And it's like, Grove is now somebody who can go on the 60-day IL. Brusdar Gratterall immediately can hit the 60-day. Clayton Kershaw can immediately hit the 60-day, and one of those three will to create that roster spot for Roki Sasaki. Kyle Hurt, if they really wanted to, they could activate him and place him on the 60-day, but I think they would rather not have his clock running if they don't have to. Emmett Sheehan is still going to be a little bit further out, so they could probably get away with the 60-day. So if they're doing that, they have some wiggle room. They can play with. If it is going to be somebody like, Giovanni Gallegos didn't travel with the team, so I guess Sauer will probably make the roster then.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I just looked it up. The Seoul Series roster, only Glasnow and Yamamoto were the only two starters that they carried. So they are going to have to do a little bit of roster maneuvering because it looks like they're probably going to repeat the same process. They'll probably just carry Yamamoto and Sasaki. They won't carry Snell or Glasnow.
But then again, who takes those spots?
Who takes those spots? Yeah, you're right. Michael Grove needs to hit the 60-day because he has season-ending shoulder surgery. So that's a 40-man roster spot right there. Who else?
Gratterall can be on the 60-day. Grove can be on the 60-day. Henriquez is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks.
So there's spots.
Yeah,
there are that you can. But
they didn't bring enough personnel to kind of fill those roster spots.
I think they not because they brought 13. They brought 13 relief pitchers.
Who all? I forgot who went with them to Japan. So that's probably a question we should be asking. But even so, it's still 2 games. So they're not going to go through that many pitchers.
The 12 relief pitchers they brought Yates, Trinan, Kasperius, Knack, Luis Garcia, Matt Sauer, Nick Frasso, Tanner Scott, Alex Vesia, Anthony Bondo, Robleski, and Dreyer. So
people that weren't even technically say the last ones again there. Because Garcia wasn't an NRI.
Yeah.
So that's Garcia, what I've been mainly looking at. Yeah.
Garcia, Sauer, Frasso, Tanner Scott, Vesia, Bonda, Robleski, Dreyer. And let me see. Robleski's on the 40-man roster. Dreyer's on the 40-man roster as well. My guess is they'll carry like Knack and Robleski to replace Snell and Glasnow as your 2 long guys if they need them.
So come on, you piece of shit. So let's do this. Everybody just watch along as I type it out in my brain here. So they're gonna need somebody who's not on the roster right now to be active or to be added. But locks, we can say Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Vesia, Bonda, Trinan, Kasperius, presumably Landon Knack for length, presumably in my mind Justin Robleski for length, and he is on the 40-man. Jack Dreyer has made his strides. So it comes down to who the other guys. Is Frasso going to be one of those dudes? It makes sense because he is on the 40-man. Yeah. And then so it'll probably be Sauer. Makes sense for Sauer just because of all the BS, all the hoopla surrounding the dude.
I'm surprised he didn't get a press conference. Yeah, and Kasperius will be on there as well, definitely. Yeah.
So there's roster talk. It's again, I wish it was done. I wish we just had it so we don't need to have this kind of weird conversation where it almost feels like a pre-production chat, but we're doing it live just because I'm having some fun talking out the roster. Even so, these moves, these things shouldn't matter.
I'm refreshing Twitter to try to get the roster, and the Dodgers are too busy tweeting about Clayton Kershaw in Kyoto right now. So come on, get to the stuff. I'm just gonna get $2 from Simi. Give an appearance.
I love this idea, baby. I love this idea. Well, quickly, let's circle back. So we got Mookie down with the sickness. We don't know if he's left, if he's not on the roster as well. That's another thing we need to figure out, if it's Outman or how that works.
I think it'll be Outman. Outman will probably replace Mookie.
But the important thing, Miguel Rojas gets to start at shortstop. He'll start it there today, tomorrow, or I should say tomorrow and the day after. Tommy Edman should be at second base. Not center field as we were expecting entering spring training, and then
it's because Dave said he would.
Yeah.
Why do we listen to Dave, man?
Well, we talked about this earlier too. I think I don't know if there were expectations with Ha-Seong Kim, and those expectations being that he would be on the active roster, but if it was him not being ready for prime time, kind of changed the plan. That's ultimately what it comes down to. It changed the plan.
I don't think so because they had infield. You could stick Tommy Edman in center field and just have Miguel Rojas and Kike play second and third.
Well, but not with Mookie out.
Yeah, well, no, not with Mookie. I think that's more of the. I think that's more of the issue than anything. Than I don't think Ha-Seong Kim really ever factored into. Like, I think if he had made the roster, that would have exceeded their expectations. Really, I do think they signed him with the full expectation that he would be in the minor leagues. Hence, why they put it in his contract that he has to accept an option. But I think Mookie being out threw a wrench into that. But because yeah, you could have Kike and Miguel Rojas, Chris Taylor, play the infield and not play Andy Pages in center field. I don't know. Like Dave is, I think he's just trying to hype up his guy because I don't know otherwise why he's so high on Pages in center field. It's looked.
And the only reason
great.
to have him in there is because they're facing two lefties.
Yeah. No, but he's been talking about how he's looked playing center field, not just the bat. The bat we know will play. It's just his ability to catch a ball, and not look like a fool out there, for lack of a better phrase. I don't know if Dave is seeing something we're not, but it's it's a little worrisome. I would need to see some significant strides early in this feels like Gavin Lux all over again. Like, hey man, can you play center field? I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean,
and you already have two corner outfielders that we know are not good corner outfielders defensively. So it makes Andy Pages' role all the more important. There's a lot riding on that kid, and
the talent is there. We've seen some closing speed. We know he has a good arm. It's just getting the first step down. It's
routes,
keeping himself engaged in each pitch every single day. That's the big thing. When to him it feels like a meaningless game, of which there are no meaningless games, unless it's a spring training game or whatever. That's when it seems like he can kind of tune out, and I don't blame him. Outfield can be boring. At least he's playing center field, not like right field or something like that, where it's extra boring. But if he can't figure it out, or as soon as Mookie's available, like James Outman could be somebody who kind of slides in there. Both of them didn't have good spring trainings. That much we can definitely hang our hat on. They didn't have great spring trainings. I've seen somebody already talking about it. Cole saying I smell a Luis Robert Jr. trade deadline acquisition. Could be a thing. Absolutely could be a thing. I think if there's going to be one spot, this team will be active at the deadline. It's going to be looking at center field. I just don't know if there are a lot of exceptional center field options out there, or going to be a lot of them out there available at the trade deadline. But Luis Robert definitely should be one of those guys, because breaking news, the White Sox are going to be very, very bad again in 2025.
Oh, I have friends who are White Sox fans, and I'll send them a text when the season starts that's like White Sox eliminated from playoff contention.
Thoughts and prayers to them. We'll pause here. Say the last part of the show, I'm down to just kind of have people hang out. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? We do have a voicemail from our buddy Richie. He's got some thoughts to get off his chest, because we didn't have shows all last week, so he's going to be loaded with some jokes and other things he wants to say about this team. But we want you guys, of course, to join the conversation. You could do that by becoming a member on our Patreon. Sorry, I'm saying this wrong. Join us on Patreon is the point here. Patreon.com/RealFRG, or join us as a YouTube member. More importantly, what I'm getting at here with the conversation is we're talking about Dodger baseball all the time on Discord. I was gone for the last week. I was not very active on Discord, but people kept the chat going, kept the chat alive, as you saw in there, Kevin. So if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, do check it out. All the links are in the description below. Hell of a time to be joining us, because season's here. Why not do that? It's $5 a month. You do help support the channel and support independent Dodgers talk here on the YouTube machine. But other than that, the best way to support the show, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all that kind of stuff. But with all that said, I think I do want to listen to our buddy. Not that button. I need this button right here. I want to listen to our buddy Richard Flores and hear what he had to say on our most recent edition of the voicemail hotline. If you guys want to call in, well, it's probably too late to call in now. But still, you see the number on the screen. Call in for a future show. Anyways, here's Richie.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy insert whatever the day of the week is here. It was another rough week for yours truly. I found out my proctologist used to work for Roto-Rooter, but I digress. As the season begins, all this talk about are they going to win 115 or 125, screw that, okay? You know what 98 wins or 99 wins get you? The same thing as 115 or 120 wins get you. Winning the division, probably getting you a first round bye, and take advantage of those dell times to get people rested and ready to go for October. And that's basically what it's all about. Managing the time of our starters so that we're not having to depend on the Jack Flaherty's of the world and the Honeywells of the world that to get us through October. I want us to be healthy, okay? That's what I want. 115 wins or 120 wins doesn't mean shit in October. Okay, you got to have a healthy team going in, and that's what I want. We're going to have our ups and downs. We're going to have our losing streaks. We're going to have bad games. We're going to see Kike throwing the ninth inning because we're getting our asses kicked 20-0. Over a course of 162, it's going to happen. And finally, to Manny Machado, running his mouth off again about how he's going to look forward to beating the Dodgers during the regular season. Well, Manny, let's take a look at what happened, okay? First of all, your ball club was 24 scoreless innings. You sung faster than Kardashian family values. And you, my friend, only had 5 hits through the entire postseason, and that included the 2 games against the Atlanta Braves. You basically were as useless as tits on the bull, okay? You're as useless as an umbrella stand. So until you get more than 5 hits in a postseason and your ball club doesn't go 0 for 24 and scoreless streak in the postseason when it matters, I think I speak for the entire Dodger Nation to where I just say, shut the fuck up, okay? Do something in the postseason, then you can pop off. So fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck the Padres. Fuck Tatis. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
He really hates Manny Machado.
He really hates.
I don't like him either, but my God.
Really, really hates Manny Machado. Listen, there's nothing wrong with hating Manny Machado. He's a hateable character. He plays his role well. Yeah. But a through line of Early's Richie's call there earlier in the call. Yeah, we don't care about the win total. I don't care about 120 wins. I don't care about this team going out there and winning 162.
No.
Win enough games to win your division. Win enough games to make the postseason, and then win 11 more when you get into October. That is it. That is the most important thing. That is the only thing that matters for this Dodgers team. For all of us, really, is winning those games.
I know we sweated it out a bit last year. They only won the division by 5 games as opposed to, I think, 21 games back in 22. But, man, you don't got to win that many. Keep it close almost, make them work for it, because I think, that helps. I don't know if running away with the division does this team any good. We're going to have this exact argument, I don't know, market, 4 months from now, 5 months from now. But it's true. So you don't need to win a ton. Just be healthy. Yeah, there are going to be games where already season-long predictions, fans are going to get pissed because Dave threw in the white flag at some point in the 7th inning. It's well, yeah, because it's not necessarily playing for the Dodgers have the luxury of not just playing for that day. They're playing for the series. They're playing for the year. It's a luxury that you get when you build a roster like this. So everybody keep your hats on, keep your pants on, just
keep the torches unlit. Keep
pitchforks away
in your damn in your she sheds or wherever they belong. There's a lot of things at play, and I did enjoy for people who missed it somehow. Alana and I sat down with Dave Roberts at Camelback last Monday. Really, really cool experience. Dave, just an awesome dude, but I did kind of have to sort of set the stage to confront him in a way that a fan might be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you taking out, or why are you not doing this right now? As we get the luxury of sitting on our ass and watching the game from our living room, as opposed to, and thinking about just that one play, that one moment. There's a reason that we wanted to do that. There's a reason I think he wanted to do that with us specifically. Yeah. And there's a reason I wanted to ask him a couple of specific questions as well, so that we can kind of look back to his answers months down the road, 6 months from now, 6.5 months from now, being when he makes a move in October that we don't understand in the moment. Machado running into that baseball, running into that throwing lane, which very much felt. Yeah. But what he did, it still feels illegal. I rewatched that play before we did that interview, and I was like, he changed direction big time.
No, he gets to set the lane. It's a headsy play, and like that's why he's the captain of the team. Nobody's ever argued Manny Machado is a bad baseball player.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal baseball player, and I think that's what has irritated Dodger fans the most is his talent level is so high. He's so mentally checked in every play, every game. He knows how to be an elite player. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. And then to just like not run to first base, to run your mouth off when you don't need to. It's like if you just did the other little things right, you wouldn't be like Hall of Fame trajectory at this point. You'd be like there. So
and he's the type of dude where we know the Hall of Fame is also a popularity contest, and the numbers may shake out to where he would be a modern Hall of Famer, because the modern Hall of Fame is going to look a lot different than what we've been used to.
Yeah, especially with 2020.
Exactly. That's another factor as well. But they're going to look at the fact of how he responds to media, or how he treats some other players, or does dumb things. I mean, to be fair, the dumb things have reduced in like frequency. You think of how many of those.
Matured.
Yeah, I mean, matured. My old lady's watching this, and I'm sure I'm gonna hear her in the living room question your use of the word mature. But to the guy that we remember in his early Baltimore days, cleating Dustin Pedroia, throwing his helmet, throwing his bat at a hand, trying to hit a pitcher or whatever on a swing, throwing his helmet and crying about Matt Chapman making a play on him. I think it was Chapman or Josh Donaldson or whatever it is. Like, he's not that guy anymore, but he still does some dumb things. Like there was at least a hair of intent in how he threw that ball towards the Dodger dugout or whatever. Why we're talking about Machado, I don't know, but
Richie does that to us. It's okay.
He does that to us. He definitely does that to us.
Does.
Even so, I guess that's where we're at, guys. There are going to be a lot
to get us off this. Any highlights from Camelback? They didn't make it onto DT or anything?
Yeah, I mean, overall it was cool. There's a few stories I have that are more off record things, really cool stuff. I did get a chance to go through the dugout or through the clubhouse, just shadowing Alana, and that's what I told her the whole time. Like I'm out here to meet all the people that you need to say hi to. That's the best person to follow around out there. I told her multiple times, like, dude, you're a fucking celebrity out here, and she's like, oh, shut up. Like, no, everybody, like. Having multiple conversations with Lon Rosen or whatever. It's funny. She, after our Dave interview, she went, or just before, whenever it was, she went and talked to Lon, or maybe it was the next day. But even so, she got one of the travel, jumpsuits that the Dodgers wear on planes, or whatever. They gave her one of those, and they kept telling her, like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? That kind of stuff.
Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know. When's Alana coming back? But I see it all the time.
But yeah, just overall being in the clubhouse with her, it makes it a lot easier. Did it a number of times with in the DN days, and you get different looks. You definitely get different looks when when you're doing that kind of work. It's changed from when I was first going back, in those clubhouses back in 2019 to, where Doug is now, for specifically talking about them. But, you go in there with Alana Rizzo, you're going in with royalty. So
Yeah.
it was fun doing that. Fun, being kind of behind the scenes with Foul Territory, getting all their interviews, talking to Clayton Kershaw, meeting him for like the fifth time for the first time, or the first time for the fifth time, or whatever, that kind of stuff. But yeah, really cool stuff. Highly recommend it. Go to spring training with Alana. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'll give her, shoot her a quick text, just let her know.
Something like that. And your jersey, by the way, is in the works. So that's an important thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Sick.
It's an important thing. But Cole says I carried her purse all week like I do with the missus. I'll tell you, both of those women do not need anybody to carry their purse.
But if they wanted to, not bad to do it, because I don't know, going into that clubhouse with Lana, that's like, everybody, she's still, even though her last year was it 19?
No,
19 her last year?
She made it through the 20 season.
She made it through the 20 season? Yeah, even though it's been at this point almost 5 years. Everybody knows Alana still. So
yeah.
Did you get to go through any of the Cubs clubhouse? Because I know her, JT, and a couple of the Cubs players that were former Dodgers were.
We didn't end up on that side. We were there. I was with her Monday, Tuesday. We were at Camelback, and then I did my own thing Wednesday. And what else? We had the show at Camelback on the other side on Thursday. One of the things that was really, really cool is when we got there on Monday, we did our walk arounds and meet and greets. Somebody, I think it's you, having some Wi-Fi issues, but it is what it is. Doing some meet and greets and whatnot, and did say hi to Dino Ebel, who was just outside working with Andy Pajes, doing some outfield drills next to that new pitching lab or whatever. It's not just a pitching lab; it's an overall lab. So, Dino took us in there, which was really cool. Like nobody has been inside that lab, or very few people outside of the team have been inside that lab, and it's like the best baseball facility. It's driveline on crack for the Dodgers specifically. So went in there, got to meet Kike a little bit more in there, and I could feel the tension a little bit. He knows who I am. He knows.
He unblocked you though.
He unblocked me, but
you.
Still, Raul Ibanez, who of course
you don't call him Banana Suit Guy anymore. So that's
I do not. Jenny Vega saying she watched the interview with Doc and I killed it. Thank you very much, Jenny. That was cool. And that, I've been doing this for a while where I don't care so much about, like, I don't when I'm talking to these people, they're just people, we watch them, we look up to them. A lot of people idolize them or whatever. I just look at them as people. I look at each interview as like, hey, I'm just talking to somebody about their job or about baseball or whatever. But with Dave, after Alana and I got back to the Foul Territory house and we're kind of just talking about it. Well, I was sitting there watching like all of the clips that came from it, and that was one of those moments where it was like, that was pretty fucking cool. That was a cool moment right there, just to be able to do. Nobody's gonna get what we got with Dave. They call it the exclusive or whatever. And Dave was awesome after the fact as well. Go ahead.
No, he gives great interviews, especially in the off seasons. Like you guys got a really good one.
And one of the things that was cool, because I did ask him, I don't think I talked about this on DT after the fact, but after we finished the interview, he was around for a little bit. Obviously, it was a day. Like, we all knew that the contract was done. Dodgers told us don't talk about it. Can't talk about it until it's official. So we respected that. But afterwards, Dave had to get out of there. Him and I were talking for a little bit. And I told him, hey, at some point, way down the road, if you ever have time and an interest, I'd love to have you on my show, because I want to talk about his playing days. I want to talk about his time as a Dodger, the time he was traded, and all that kind of stuff. And
I remember I would do the games when he was a Dodger.
And he I threw some names out there, and I could tell, like, oh man, like he's been watching this team for a while. Like I mentioned former Dodgers GM Dan Evans. I was like, hey, Dan Evans built a hell of a team that nobody really respected at the time. And he tells me, hey, Dan's got a fucking hell of a handshake, doesn't he? He's like, oh yeah, he does, man. Dan, he's got a club of a hand. But Alana catches him on the next day, Tuesday, talks to Doc, and me and my camera buddy Tony. Shout out to Tony, by the way. He made me my hat, my All Dodgers podcast hat. Subscribe. Go hat
Oh, I
forward
like
in
it. I
honor
like
of
it.
Jeff.
Hat forward. I love it.
But we were off to the side while Alana. I didn't want to get into Alana and Dave's conversation. I felt like that was give them their space. But afterwards, Dave called me over and he was like, "Man, that's cool. I didn't know you've been following me for that long, knowing my career, knowing all this stuff." And he had brought up like how crazy good that bullpen was in those days when he was a Dodger. And I told him, "Yeah, man, when you were traded and like LaDuca trade and shit, that kicked our asses, man."
That
good
broke
teams.
my heart. LaDuca was one of my favorite players growing up, and they traded him, and I was so sad. I was like, my dad had to like console me. I was like, "What do you mean he's not a Dodger anymore?"
Those were tough, man. Those are tough. There you go, Roach. Ask him about Jim Tracy. Shout out Jim Tracy. But yeah, Dave brought that up, and he was like, appreciative of me following his career, knowing the Dodgers and all this kind of stuff. And how did he end it again? It was I don't know. It's just more so talking about that. It was him being. It was cool that he pulled me aside and had more time to be like, that was awesome. Like me knowing his stuff, knowing about the Dodgers, how long I've been watching the team, and all this kind of stuff. And I told him, I think the trade worked out for you, though. Of course, he gets traded to Boston. Yeah. He's like, "Clint, I wouldn't change a thing." And then he does it. Nope. Vintage Dave Roberts, very loud laugh. And it's a good time. It's a good time. But highly recommend it, guys. Go out there to spring training and know some people, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, if I got to talk to Dave like that, absolutely. Although I'd be geeking out a little bit more. Yeah. You know what's funny? So I had a kid in class. His name was Cameron. His dad's name was Dave, and their last name was Roberts. So in like second grade, I always thought this kid's dad was Dave. I was like, wait, we have a Dodgers player is like the father of one of my
former Dodgers center fielder.
Yeah, because like I was in San Diego, so it wasn't like it wouldn't have been out of the question because I mean Dave still lives in San Diego.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been crazy to like imagine that like one of his kids was in my class. But it wasn't him. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I remember growing up, I was like, is that Dave?
Unless it's one of his bonus kids.
Kind of said they're both they both have very little hair, got the goatee going, like kind of look, But no.
But wasn't Dave, was not three-time World Series champion Dave Roberts, it turns out. Unfortunate to you. But again, cool. We'll see if we ever end up back out there. I don't think we ever get that opportunity again with Dave, but very much appreciate everything that went on out there. I'm also very happy to be home.
Yeah, I bet. It's a lot.
8 days, man. That was rough.
It's a lot of travel. Yep.
But other than that, guys, that was just general talk. Obviously, we are at opening day. This is it. Like the next time we're talking about games that happen. We're talking about the series. We'll be live again Thursday. I got the burps. Thursday, if I'm alive. Hopefully people enjoyed that. We do have a comment who said, Mr. Classic saying that his wife says to stop F-bombing. Should we stop F-bombing? This just in. No, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry about that.
It's not happening. This is
Richie Flores. Does beer taste different at 3 a.m.? Depends on
I wouldn't know because
which side of 3 a.m. are you on?
I wouldn't know. I don't remember any beer I've had at 3 a.m.
That's how we'll end it, guys. Different show, weird show, I'm sure, for some. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I don't know that I would have enjoyed it, but I'm a different kind of cat, and I hate hearing myself and hate looking at myself and hate dealing with myself. But you guys are awesome. Thanks for rocking with us. I don't know why I said that. That's a Doug there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the great questions, comments, super chats here on the show. Again, the next time we're live, there will be real baseball we're talking about. So I do want to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters here on the YouTube, all that kind of stuff. You help us make this show. We help us make the show. If you guys want to help out, support independent Dodgers coverage, support the team here, me, this guy, check it out. Links are in the description, patreon.com/realfrg, and also join button here on YouTube. It's $5 a month. You also get access to our Discord server where we're talking about Dodger baseball. If you can do that, cool. If not, just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That also very much helps out the channel. Another thing, Cole, I'll end on Cole's question here, asking about the Foul Territory Boys. The only one that was out with us was AJ Przinsky. We stayed at the same house, although we never saw him in the front because we had two like separate houses on the property. AJ, cool. A lot of great stories there at the dinner. Shout out to Foul Territory owner Mark Wiener for having us out at his mom's house, who Mama Wiener made some banger ribs, mind you, but hanging out, having dinner with him. And I definitely, if there was anybody I would have geeked out with a little bit, it was Ken Rosenthal, getting to meet Ken and him kind of knowing me and, being like, hey, it's nice to finally meet you. That was fun. That was cool. But show's gone on long enough. Definitely. That's cool. Shout out to our mods for doing a kick-ass job here on the channel, on the chat, all that kind of stuff. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Go do some March Madness stuff there. That is producer Kevin. Give him a follow at Skinner7Kevin on the Twitter. Let's get him to like 500 followers or something like that at some point. I am Real FRG. Where you at?
161.
Bring them bots back.
161. It's 161 times. Yeah, no, seriously. I was at like 240 with the bots.
Bring them bots back, baby. I'm Real FRG on all the things. Give me a follow. Links are all in the description. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up on the way out, and we'll see you in the next one. Dodgers win in a couple of hours. Bye.